we fear things we don't understand. And if we understood it, maybe we would be like, yo, I don't want to have to go through all that stuff. I'm going to try to work it out a little bit. I'm going to try a little bit harder.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Beleaf Mel.
And we're here with episode 109 of
How Married Are You? My name Beleaf, this is Yvette, and we've been married 10 years. Live in California. Got four kids. Relationships are scary, and it's very necessary that we share our love, our struggles, and we ask how married are you? Every Tuesday and Thursday, shawty. If you're listening, you're in the wedding party. If you're feeling it, it's okay to put your hands up. You got the questions, we got the answers.
It's chocolate baby story time.
Chocolate baby story time.
It's chocolate baby story time.
1, 2, 3, and
it's chocolate baby story time.
Alright, so boom. Yvette's going upstairs. She sees something at the top of the stairs. I don't know what happened. Were you scared?
When I was going up, I was like, what is that? And I get to the top of the stairs. I'm like, Glen!
Yeah, so I'm not.
Something is burning.
Yeah. I don't know. Might be another fire happening around here. But yeah, so I grab my camera on the phone, walk up the stairs, and just start recording. And Anaya is laying at the top of the stairs. Just posted this on Instagram. Just laying, just sleep. And I'm like, Naya, are you okay? And she like woke up just so bewildered.
She looked around like, what am I doing
here?
And then she put her head back down.
Yeah, I was like, are you okay? And she lays back down. She's like, yeah, lays back down. I'm like, you got it. Yvette's like, you got to get in the bed. So we walked her back in the bed, and she got irritated, but it was just interesting. I don't think she was a sleepwalker. I think she was.
No, I think she probably like came out of her room after we put her to bed and
started like singing one of her songs where she makes you feel guilty.
Yeah. Okay, so my chocolate baby story time. The other day, I don't know why, but Glen asked the boys to help Anaya get dressed. Do you remember doing that? Yeah. So they ended up helping them get dressed. And then later on, I realized that Anaya's dress was on backwards. Like the tag was in the front instead of in the back. And I was like, oh, Anaya, your dress is on backwards. And then Raya goes, well, that makes sense. And I'm like, well, why does that make sense, Raya? And he goes, because that's the part that Theo helped with. And Theo always has his shirts on backwards. And I was like, Raya, you are always subtly roasting somebody.
Yeah, man.
You're just so subtle with it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's kind of funny. But I don't think he's intentionally roasting people. He just be saying the truth. He just be putting it as is. And that's it.
He can also just not say anything, though. Anyway, that's Chocolate Baby Story Time.
Yeah.
Today is Tuesday. That means it's Ask How Married Are You? And we try our best to answer some of the dilemmas and things that you guys are going through as married or single people. So we try to do our best to answer those questions. We are not, therapists or anything like that, but we do have 10 years of experience now. So, if you want to ask us anything, make sure you email us at howmarriedareYou@gmail.com. Or you can leave a voicemail at 760-335-6643. 6643, right? And so you call in, you leave a voicemail, you email us, just so we know. I'm not going to fake the funk. We're irritated. We're very irritated right now. There's a lot on the line this week. A lot of investments are like having like the day of like, is that a bug or something? No. Like we have a big thing that we're about to do this week, and it's a culmination of an idea, a vision, and it's a big deal. So I think that's irritating. We both have to get ahead with our regular life in order to excel in the thing that we're about to do. So if you're a prayer, pray for us. And other people are going through stuff, and it's a lot too. So, yeah. Does that sum it up? Or you not going to say any of that? I mean, are you okay with me saying that? It's too late. All right. Oh, well. All right, go ahead, baby. You want to?
Oh, it's my turn. Sorry. Y'all, like he said, like it's always right before the podcast. Glen will just mention something. I don't know if it's because it's like this is time that we...
I didn't mention something.
Baby, you started talking about the garage.
All right.
But okay, I'm gonna just say this real quick. Let me just get this off my chest.
All right, well then go ahead, because I'm gonna say something.
The thing that happened, let me just tell y'all real quick. This is just an insight. We just keep it real, 100, whatever.
Starting the beginning.
Even though Charmaine came here and was like, Yvette, you can't be saying everything. Because I was like, Charmaine, don't you know we live a life of transparency? Because I said some stuff in front of both Carly and Lexi, and she was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She was cringing. Anyway, before we started recording, Glenn was like, I just want you to know, like, I'm about to just start throwing stuff away in the garage. And I'm going to let Jesus take it all. Jesus is the guy who's been doing a lot of the work in our yard. And so he has the ability to take large loads of trash and like...
No, it's not trash. He actually is going to give them to like orphanages in Tijuana and stuff like that. He's going to like donate the stuff.
Okay. Well, that's not how he said it to me. That's the first time I'm hearing that. Anyway, he did take a large thing of trash. What's happening right now?
Go ahead.
He did take a large thing of trash at one point. And the thing, I think why this whole thing triggered me is because last night I did this whole like self-care thing where I was like, I warmed up the like lavender, what are those things called that go on your shoulders or your back, whatever, heat pad, something. And I like was ready to do like soak my feet in a foot bath and have like the vibration going and all that stuff, right? And I am just searching around the house everywhere, looking for our little foot spa that we have. I can't find it. Glen's usually the one that uses it. Like, I think Glen
thought it was mine.
Bought it for himself.
I bought it for myself.
But I mean, like, it was for the house, I assumed. But anyways, whatever. Maybe I assumed. You know what they say about people who assume. Anyway, I'm ready, y'all. I got all the things. I got the foot scrub. I got the, like, stuff that goes in the thing. I got my nail polish. I got everything ready. Can't find this thing. I call him. Or did I text you? I don't know. I just said, hey.
Voice memo. Where
is the foot spa? And he says, I threw it away. I was being no. I want to tell you exactly what he said. He said, it got thrown away with all the trash on the side of the house. What's wrong? And I said, why? And then he says, I was being me. Y'all, at that moment, this was going to be my How Married Are You? So I'm going to let you know. I'm so married that I didn't give him all the words. I just gave him an emoticon to let him know how like frustrated I was. But you know, my dad always says adapt, adjust, and overcome. And so that's exactly what I did. And I still got my little pampering on. I rented a movie and everything. But I was so irritated. And so when he said what he said just now before the podcast about the garage and how he's going to start throwing stuff away, I was like, man, like I would really like an opportunity to go in the garage before you start just throwing stuff away, because there is some things that just don't belong in the trash. But I don't have time to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole thing. And then he's going to come back with this. Go ahead. Tell him your side, babe.
So the real issue is that our office is a complete mess,
and we're not going to show you.
It's terrible. Like
it's you guys just
fall
see us
hazard
and the pink.
It's a fall hazard. There's all types. Everything is in here. Everything that I've ever touched is in this place. So like, you know, hair cutting stuff, tripods, cameras, lenses, speakers, everything is in here. And then it's like miscellaneous stuff and like packages and all types of stuff. So I'm like, we got to get rid of some of this stuff. And Yvette's been complaining about the way the office looks. And I'm like, okay, right? And I'm complaining about the way the garage looks, because when you walk out of the garage to do the laundry, you kind of got to shimmy past a bunch of stuff in order to get to the laundry thing. And so I'm like, this is the type of cleaner I am, right? I need to move everything out and then put it back in. Now, we can't just move it on the outside of the door because we have a small child, Uzi, who's going to take everything, put it in his mouth or whatever, destroy it or whatever. So I'm like, let's just move it into the garage. But we can't do that because everything's in the garage. So I'm just kind of like backed up. And then yesterday, George came over here to shoot and he stepped on the thumbtack in the office.
Y'all, he was bleeding. Like, I had to get stuff and wipe up the floor because there was blood on the floor. The poor guy, It was just so bad. I was so embarrassed and sad for him.
Yeah. So R.I.P. George's small little hole in his foot, and R.I.P. you're not being able to use a foot spa. I apologize to both of you. I don't necessarily know where the win is here.
The win and the thing is not that he like the problem isn't like I would love to go in the garage and help him, but I feel like there's other pressing things to take care of. Like this week we're about to indulge in a huge project that we've been planning for months, for years really. And it's kind of like, why you want to talk about the garage right now? Like you aren't even able to really focus your attention there. But I realized he would like to get the office together. It's so much, y'all. And it's like, I'm not mad at him. It's frustrating because there's all these things that I want to do, like that are in my mind as things that need to get done. But it's always something more pressing for me to attend to. And that's just where I'm at.
Yeah. But just so we do have understanding, I have been asking you to help me in the garage for a very, very, very,
and
very,
like
very
I said,
long time.
We either have not had the childcare to keep our kids, together while we do that, or there's more pressing things to tend to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyway, it's Ask How Married Are You Tuesday.
All right, let's mute this and play.
Yvette and Glen, oh my goodness, I'm so happy to call for you guys. I am currently watching episode 103, and a caller called in and talked about things that are hidden in the church and the rollover. I know Yvette asked for more scenarios that, of course, aren't related to sex, and one of the scenarios that I would like to bring up is going to be divorce. I bring this up because I recently know that myself and my current husband both are divorced. We were both married once before. We both had children in their marriage, and then now we're a blended family. In divorce, in a normal divorce, most of the time the people who are divorced don't speak to each other. They don't co-parent very well. And my husband and I are in the church, but my ex-husband is not. So that co-parenting thing is a different situation. But I recently know a couple that were both very active in the church, and they got a divorce, and now it's a very difficult situation as far as forgiveness and co-parenting. Even people within the church themselves are now, I guess, having to take sides and things of that nature. So what would you guys say would be some positives that people could do, or people could teach about divorce? Obviously, we don't want a divorce, but people are having them. But how can you make it, I don't know, just less messy in the church, or forgiving? I think what it all boils down is to forgiveness in my eyes. But I don't know, but that's my question. That's one of the things that, people don't talk about is divorce. On one, of course, how to prevent it, and two, if it does happen, how to move on. But happy to give you guys a call. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, man. You got anything to say?
I don't really have anything to say. I think my biggest thing it would be forgiveness. I think it's always like, we've had friends who have been in our friend circle and divorced, and it's kind of like, it's just awkward. It's like awkward and uncomfortable, and it's like, I don't know how to navigate this. For me personally, I don't feel like one way or the other about either of, like, in the situations that I'm thinking of, like, that one person was right or wrong or whatever. I don't even know if it's necessarily our responsibility to forgive anybody. Like, the forgiveness needs to more so happen between the two individuals involved in a relationship, don't you feel?
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
It's just like a hole. I was trying to comb it together. Sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think that either. I don't know about, I mean, this is the thing. I got so much to say.
Really?
Yeah. You want to keep going?
No, I don't have anything that much to say. Goodness. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, this is kind of like my issue with the church.
Here we go.
And I don't necessarily want to say this.
Okay, go ahead.
But I feel like I must. Somebody told us recently, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, right? But someone was like, yo, I believe what you're doing is the future of the church. The reason is because what we're doing is showing like Christ-like behavior in a very unseen way, right? So how do you father through difficult times? How do you like do marriage or communicate during an issue like what we just had earlier, right? That type of stuff is really, really valuable. I don't know what it is about the church at large that it almost seems like they're trying to recruit the best type of people so they can seem the most legit. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it really for the broken and the discouraged if we aren't showing those people how to get back right? I could counsel you all day, but if I don't show you my life, what does that matter? Right? Yeah. The thing that we need, and now we can't speak from divorce. We're not divorced. We don't know anything about divorce. But what you guys are missing.
What you guys? Who are you guys?
Everybody.
Okay, now.
Everybody's missing this, and I'm going to get on my soapbox here.
Okay, here we go.
You guys think that your pain belongs to you, and your pain is not yours. Like, you leave that to Jesus, right? And what happens with your pain is that it becomes somebody else's freedom once you get through it, because you allow people to see through your life and you're honest about the situation. So my issue, and everybody can't do this, and I'm not saying that everyone should, but so many people need to document their experience. Like, normalize the thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. We fear divorce. We fear this. We only see the before and the after. Hey guys, hey, and I can't stand him, y'all. He's crazy. Or like, man, she was just a nutcase, man. Or like, she's a terrible wife. Doesn't do this, doesn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all of a sudden you're super vocal, but the whole time you didn't say anything. You know, I remember talking to a dude, and he was like, man, I hung out with him, cool dude, been in his family house, known him for years. He hits me up like, man, I'm out of there, man. I got a divorce. I'm getting a divorce. What are we talking about? He's like, yeah, man, I'm over it, man. I can't do this. I'm like, bro, what? What are you talking about? Like, go back home, bro. Nah, man. She does this, she does that. I was like, look, man, like, I understand you're hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, things are crazy, but you need to try to work it out in some way, shape, or form, you know? He's like, nah, man, and I was like, man, I don't know what to tell you, bro. And so we kind of got into it, and I was like, why do you get to quit and I don't? Like, it's difficult for me too. Like, you think it's easy for me? You know what I mean? Like, how come you get to quit? And he's like, he hit me up like maybe like a year later and was like, yo, I felt like that day you didn't have my back and you betrayed me. And I don't think he said betrayed, but he was like, I feel like I needed a friend and you weren't my friend. And I was like, you know what's crazy? I don't feel like I was ever your friend if I never knew you were having such a terrible marriage. Like, we weren't ever friends, you know? Like, you don't get to just quit without explaining your life to me. You know what I mean? If I'm your friend, I'm going to tell you to get back in the ring, champ. Go ahead and do your thing. Otherwise, you would have told me things were looking crazy. You would have talked to me way before this moment. So I feel like there's a lack of transparency when it comes to flawedness in every sense of it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that we allow in the church that irritate me, like abuse. You know what I'm saying? Like spousal abuse, parental abuse. Or child abuse. You know what I mean? Like we allow it and we talk about, somebody said that somebody said this on Instagram. They were like, yo, our parents really believed that if we disagree with them, we were being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's toxic. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's so many different things in the church that I'm kind of like, yo, we have to move forward. And I'm not trying to come and party with you. Like, I'm trying to go and move and make something happen. Like, we have to activate ourselves and document and show like what Christ's love really looks like. You know what I'm saying? And through every aspect of what we're doing, it's very difficult for us to, we fear things we don't understand. And if we understood it, maybe we would be like, yo, I don't want to have to go through all that stuff. I'm going to try to work it out a little bit. I'm going to try a little bit harder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they're, the person who's brave enough to, and that's going to be super difficult because I know watching people and I can just imagine, like, I know when we get in an argument and we don't talk, I feel like I don't want to do anything. But imagine like if it was over and I knew it was over and you knew it was over and we had to tell the kids, we had to split up the house. Like, I wouldn't want to pull out no camera and be like, hey, y'all, it's sad. I'm sad, y'all. You sad for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, but no, like if you were going through that, the biggest help to the world would be to not everybody. I'm just saying somebody gonna have to take an L. You know what I mean? Like, because I think we fear this thing, or even like, parents who are, whose child, especially in the church, whose child is homosexual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what are those conversations like?
Yeah.
What does that look like? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like help us transition into grown-ups instead of trying to act like it's all good, y'all. I can't stand that about us. Like, we have to do a better job, like showing our lives like the scripture gave us the stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just something valuable about your pain. You know what I'm saying? That if you really want people to do better, then you might have to share it,
It kind of goes back to what you said in a podcast before, or was I talking to my mom? One of y'all said something about like sometimes we experience things or we go through things and it's not necessarily for us, it's for someone else. Like, I keep looking at the Jackson family and Judah, and I'm like, I have full faith that the Lord is just gonna like bring that boy back to life, and I just keep thinking like about all the souls that will be saved because of the faith that family is having, that the Lord is going to restore life and movement and all the things that brings Judah back to his full self and more. And so sometimes I feel like we experience things or we experience trauma, definitely to make ourselves stronger and for us, but a lot of times it can also be for someone else.
Yeah. 100%.
All right, next question. So the next one is an email, and it's titled, "How do we know if it is better to break up or keep trying?" Hi, Yvette and Glen. I have been watching and listening to you guys for a while, and it has been very helpful, and I'm very grateful for the fact that you're open to discuss such things. Well, my story is this. I'm Brazilian, but I'm currently in the UK, and I've been living here for a few years because at first I came here to learn English and stayed here. During this time, I met men who affected my confidence in myself and how I see other men. but I'm currently dating someone for about a year and a half, and questions like, what will happen with our future because we need a visa to stay here? Confident, that's one. Confident because I don't know if I can trust him 100%, and always a female friend shows up even though I also have male friends and I don't have second intention with them. It's hard for me to believe that the same happens to him. And 3, cultural issues, because the fact that I'm Brazilian and he's Nigerian happens that sometimes our views are completely different, and I also don't know if it's something I need to worry about. Anyway, these issues are weighing more and more on our relationship, and the fights have increased. I know I love him because, as I know myself, well, if I didn't love him, I would have left him a long time ago. But my dilemma is as far as it is worth trying, because sometimes I feel that he is very selfish and thinks only of his own good and didn't include me in future plans, even though he says he does. And it's hard for me because I definitely want to get married one day, but I don't know if he's the guy. I hope you can help me. I'm in a dilemma. Thank you guys. God bless. Yeah, I feel like this is another one where we don't necessarily know because of the cultural difference and visas and stuff. I don't necessarily know how that works.
Yeah, but you know, like, okay, go ahead.
But I was going to say, like, if you guys do decide to be together, I'm sure all of that stuff can work out. As far as the cultural differences are concerned, I do think that is something that can be worked through. It's going to definitely be a challenge, but I do think that as you guys get to know each other's cultures more and more, that you can work through it. You said that you don't know if it's something you need to worry about. I don't know. What do you think? I feel like for me personally, this is going to sound so bad. Is it? I'm not going to say it. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel like there are certain cultures that I probably wouldn't have been able to marry.
Mm-hmm. You should leave it at that. Okay. Anyway, so.
Because it's different. Okay, just in this sense, I think it's different if you're both American and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're both from the UK and a different race versus if you're both from the same country and a different race, because the way you experience life is different. Am I tripping?
I don't know. I think differences are really good.
You
know what I'm saying? Like, diversity, I think that's awesome. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, if two people like love each other, like, I don't really see what the big deal is. Mm-hmm. But I do think you said cultural issues. Okay, so, but you and I are from different cultures. Mm-hmm. We are both black, but we are different culture. Culturally, you know, I don't know if we would have lined up had I not, like, met Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know. I think I don't have enough information here to say that this warrants you not
to keep trying.
Yeah, to keep trying. But I would definitely let him know that you are like, I don't need this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are, like, in a space where you're second guessing a relationship, he should know that. But if you have no reason not to trust him and you just don't trust him, I don't really think that's fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he has female friends, you have guy friends, and you're okay with him hanging out with them, or you're not okay with him hanging out with them, but you get to hang around with your guy friends, I think that's kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you both need to have a conversation about if that's a boundary that you want to have or not. Like, what is the boundary related to female and male friends, or friends of the opposite sex? Do we have a set rule for that? Or is it just an understanding? Because I don't know that we've been explicit in our...
Are you trying to justify why you gave your number out?
Babe. I can't.
Where's that question coming from?
The question is coming from here because I'm thinking, like, I'm just advising her to, like, discuss that as, like, a thing. And I'm like, I don't know that we've actually set
We haven't
had an explicit conversation. It's kind of more like common sense.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't have guy friends. You don't have girlfriends. I mean, but you do have girlfriends and I do have guy friends, but it's like we don't just be Like, hey, bro, let's go hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of depends on the guy, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. If something makes me feel uncomfortable, I'm going to say it. Mm-hmm. Well, first, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to be quiet.
No, you won't.
No, I'm going to be quiet for a little bit. And you're going to be like, are you upset at me?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be like, yeah.
At least he knows he doesn't, right? At least we
because
know.
I'm trying not to like
always like
kirk out.
What did I do now? That's always what I say.
Yeah, but I'm like over that too. Like, you gotta own your ish, man. You gotta own it. You don't be owning it, babe. You don't be owning it. I'll be having to come with so much proof before you can be like, I did do that.
I don't talk like that,
Babe, but it's always like, oh my gosh. Like, it's always a shock to you. I guess I did say that. I might just be a little bit off. But it's never like when you're like, I did not do that. Absolutely not. I sure didn't. And then it's proof right there. I'll be having them receipts. Glen, stay keeping receipts. I'll be having them receipts. I bring them to you and you be like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I live it.
Yeah, so I think that stuff is important.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's not worth, like, right now for her situation, you definitely keep trying.
I'm talking about you owning your ish. That's what I want to stay on the topic about.
I think I have to get rid of this thing. It always does.
You got a hole in that thing.
Where's the hole?
Right here.
Oh God. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Fix it in post. Turn up the white balance.
I don't know how to fix it in post.
Yeah, so yeah. I think he should know all the red flags. I think you should figure out if you want to be treated that way. I feel like what do you think about the selfishness?
I think we both were selfish before we got married. I think there's an element of selfishness that each person carries into marriage until they fully understand what it means to be married.
100%.
Because there's no way that, like, people think they're ready for marriage, and then you get into it, and it's just like, and as much as we're trying to like expose and share with you guys, y'all still don't know until you know.
I don't know us at all.
You don't know until you know. And so it's like, I feel like there's like, I mean, it kind of, I guess there's degrees of selfishness that you can have, you know. I'm trying to think. There's somebody that I'm thinking of right now that I think is pretty selfish. That
I know exactly what you're thinking about.
Do you? Let's talk with our eyes. Yep.
Yeah.
Who I'm like, I don't know, bro. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely think there's a degree of selfishness that we all carry into a relationship, and I think slowly but surely we know how to be less selfish and serve each other in the way that we're called to in a marriage relationship.
What kind of selfishness warrants you leaving? What kind of selfishness is like, nope. Like if someone says, I do not want to have kids.
Oh God. For me, that's a bye.
Okay, cool. So I don't want to have kids because...
Wait, I don't want to have kids, or I don't want to have any more kids?
I don't want to have kids ever.
Okay, yeah. Well, that definitely should have been discussed prior to marriage.
Yeah, but it's not. They're in a relationship. So say like you really love this person, but this person does not want to have kids. I don't want to lose my freedom. I want to enjoy my time with you. I think kids are going to rob me from that. What I don't want to have kids.
Yeah, for me, that would be a deal breaker.
Okay. But is it a deal breaker across the board? But it just depends on the person, yeah.
It depends on the person. Like if you're still someone who is, but the thing is, people be thinking they can change people's mind. Yeah. And then they get there, and it's like, no, I really meant what I said, and I told you this before we got married. So what are you tripping about?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think it's a deal breaker across the board. Like if you're someone who might be on the fence, but even if you're on the fence, I don't think you should be in a relationship with someone who 100% knows they do not want children.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, it's a difference between wanting children and not being able to have children.
Yeah.
Like, is the person open to adoption? Is the person open to other different things? Because there are different ways to have children. So, yeah, man, oh man, that's rough.
All right. So what about like, okay, selfishness that like, so like, like someone who, like say if, doesn't lock the door, like doesn't, they don't keep the door locked or whatever because they like want people to be able to come and go. You know what I'm saying? Like selfishness that like.
Are you trying to call me out? What?
No.
What's happening?
No, I'm
like really doesn't lock the door.
Yeah, like
or
someone
has
who
an
just
open door policy.
I would say that's okay. Selfishness that is careless.
Selfishness that is careless and endangers people in the household. Oh, well. If they aren't receptive to changing that behavior, then yes, most definitely. Like if you're putting us in danger, like for example, I know a woman, I used to work with a woman who would share with me some situations that was going on in her life. And it was basically her husband who was addicted to drugs. And she like constantly was, helping him. And he was going to rehab and then falling back into old ways, doing this back and forth. And honestly, like, I think at some point she's got to look out for her children more so than her husband, because at this point he was doing irresponsible things that were putting her children in danger. And so I think it was her responsibility to kind of like,
did she
say,
do that?
Bro, when I was there, no. And from what I can see on Facebook,
no.
Yeah.
Maybe hopefully it's getting better.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that because I was selfish in a lot of ways. You were selfish in a lot of ways. Right? Why are you quiet?
I'm waiting for you to get to your point.
I just want you to agree with me thus far.
But what way are we talking about? What time period of our lives are we talking about? Currently?
I'm talking about before we got married.
Oh, before
that's
we
what
got
I said,
married?
yeah.
Okay. How was I selfish? Sorry.
This is what I be talking about. She don't own
Here come the receipts.
her ish.
Here come the receipts. Let's go, babe.
I mean,
1, 2, 3.
I'm just saying, like, when it comes to like, it wasn't
like when I wanted to live in a specific type of place.
No, I don't know that is selfish. There were just things you did that were selfish. Can you say that?
Can we go? I want 2 examples.
Like, you not wanting to come to my show because you just didn't feel like coming.
Really?
You don't think that was selfish?
I feel like I came to your shows, especially before we got married.
Okay. I mean, even I'm talking about after marriage now, right? I think there was more selfishness after marriage for us, for you. I'd say more selfishness before marriage for me.
Okay, babe.
You can't own it.
Okay, I own it. You just brought this up so that you can have an example of me not owning it in front of the wedding party. Thanks a lot, bro.
Man, the real wedding party know you are recycled. Not trash, you recycled.
I don't understand. Oh, so you're trying to say I'm trash?
No, you're not trash. You're recycled. I didn't say trash.
I know.
Yeah, but everybody knows about you.
It's just a nice way of saying you're trash.
But I'm just saying, like, there were certain things that you didn't want to do just because you didn't want to do them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? But you obviously admitted you were on other people's team more than you were on my team. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There was times when I wanted to go to Bible study and you were like, bro, you don't even study the Bible with me. What the hell is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, selfishness all around. Mm-hmm. Those things are character flaws. Not actually character flaws. It's just things you're missing. You know what I mean? But I feel like time can heal that type of stuff. And like having a good sturdiness, foundation, a good foundation to work with and build upon. Mm-hmm. Some of you guys are building on, like, if he's selfish and he's like demanding, like he wants you to sacrifice everything but gives you nothing, like that's a bad foundation and wobbly. Like you're just gonna fall apart.
It's a Jenga.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's yeah. So I just think you have to balance. You have to see, like, okay, are these minor issues that will adjust, or are these things that are just off 100%?
One more.
Okay.
Okay. Oh. Hi, Beleaf and Yvette. I always watch your videos on a weekly basis. I'm 23 years old and love learning about parenting. While it may not be my time yet, I have always known my deepest desire was to be a mom. Thank you for setting an example for people from all walks of life. In watching your most recent video, I felt like I could relate so deeply to Anaya. I have 3 other siblings who are boys, and I am the only girl, falling second in line. I remember being young and just straight up feeling outnumbered. I am not an angry person, but I always had this fire within me. Growing up with boys had pros and cons like anything. However, I will say that at times it felt overwhelming and I often felt misunderstood. I always desired to have a sister because I thought I would be fulfilled if someone my age could relate or simply just play gently with me. Boys are crazy, LOL. They always want to wrestle or play some crazy physically torturous pretend game that I was only down for probably 17% of the time. What I can tell you is that I am now incredibly grateful for being the only girl. I never felt like I had to compete with a sister for alone time with my mom. It was just a given. But I will say it was evident in my temper or overreactions if I was lacking girl bonding time with my mom. I needed that often. It recharged me and allowed me to step into my identity that the Lord has created me to be.
Oh, you're about to break
I think
apart.
I'm about to fall apart. God. I oddly see a lot of my personality in Anaya. She is sweet, yes, yet mischievous. She has a fire within while still maintaining grace. I know from experience how tough being in her position can feel, but I thought I would let the both of you know that there is a lot of hope for her to continue to grow.
Okay, I got you. Growing into a beautiful, godly young woman that she will be one day. Where are we at?
Right here.
My experiences with my 3 brothers stretched me and challenged me in ways that I never disregard. I know my own boundaries, which allowed me to communicate well as a young adult. I grew really thick skin, but I like to think I also know how to be vulnerable. That was something I learned by being in touch with my feminine side. I truly have my mom to thank for that. She always validated my feelings and also knew when to tell me I was being dramatic, which happens to be more often than not. With all this to say, I don't have any advice. I simply wanted to tell you both that Anaya is brave, strong, and beautiful. She exudes boldness at such a young age, and I know that while you both might be a little concerned for her at times, I fully believe she will be more than okay. This is just a part of the growing process while being around so much testosterone, LOL. I'm praying for her. I'm grateful to learn from your family. It has brought so much excitement and intentionality of prayer when I think of my future. All the love. All right. So what you guys may not know is that we're going through a very special moment in Beleaf and Fatherhood. And basically it's called the Good Father season. I'm trying to discover what it means to be a good father. And a lot of that is going into the depth of my relationships with each child. And the first child we're talking about and we're talking through is Anaya. And I've done 2 episodes on her so far. And we are doing the 3rd episode tomorrow. So if you haven't watched it yet, we'll link it. I'll put it in the show notes. You guys should watch it. And we'll kind of talk about this on Thursday in the next episode. So see you guys then. Babe, how married are you?
Can you go first? How married are you?
I'm so married that on Thursday when Charmaine was here and she was planning on coming to the house and you were like, I got to figure out what I'm going to do for dinner. I got to, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, you guys just go out and I'll take care of the kids. You go out Thursday night is your night off. Just go away. And you did that.
Thanks, babe.
Welcome. How married are you?
I'm so married that I don't know what day it was this week, but I think it was Wednesday. On Wednesday, the nanny got off at 4 p.m., but you were home and I was still at the office and I still had a lot of stuff I needed to get done, but I didn't want to whatever. So I just came home, made sure I was home by 4 o'clock to relieve the nanny so you could do whatever you wanted to do.
I think I slept. I tried to sleep.
You tried to sleep.
My grandmother called.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that's just how married we are.